Anytime you are going to have problem like this, you're supposed to perform one step at a time. What I mean by that? In order to avoid a confusion, subtract first these two numbers. And from the result of these two, you are going to subtract this one. And from the result of these three, you are going to subtract the fourth one. So let's take a look what we have to do. We have 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0 minus 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. And of course, this is base 2. So, one step at a time, subtract these two numbers first. I cannot subtract 1 from 0, that's why I'm going to borrow 1 from here. This one becomes 2 over this bit, but I have to go up to this point. So it means I have to borrow 1 from this 2, and I'm going to end up with 1. And this borrow 1 is going to be 2 over here. Again, I'm going to borrow 1, 2, I'm going to borrow 1, and this becomes 2. 2 minus 1 gives me 1. 1 minus 0 gives me 1. 1 minus 0 gives me 1. 1 minus 1 gives me 0. I have 0 over here because I borrowed that 1. So I have to borrow 1 from here. This borrow 1 becomes 2. And I have 2 minus 1 is equal 1. So the answer for the subtraction of these two numbers is this one. Next, I'm supposed to subtract this number from this one. So I have 1, 0, 1, 1, 1 minus 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And let's take a look what we're going to have. Of course, this is base 2. 1 minus 1 is equal 0. 1 minus 0 is equal 1. 1 minus 0 is equal 1. 0 minus 0 gives me 0. And I have 1 minus 1 gives me 0. This is base 2. Next, we're supposed to subtract from this number this one. I have 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, base 2, minus 1, 1, base 2. I cannot subtract 1 from 0, that's why I'm going to borrow 1 from here, and this 1 becomes 2. 2 minus 1 gives me 1. This is 0. Next, I cannot subtract again 1 from 0, that's why I'm going to borrow 1, and this 1 becomes 2 over here. 2 minus 1 gives me 1. This is 0. This 0 will come down, this 0 will come down, and this 0 will come down. Why? Because anytime we do not have any bits written, means we have like invisible zeros. Okay, so I have 0 minus 0 gives me 0, 0 minus 0 gives me 0, and 0 minus 0 gives me 0. So this is the solution to my problem. You can also express this number as 2-bit number because it means exactly the same. These zeros at the front of the most significant one do not have any meaning, they are just space holders. So if you don't need to keep them, you can simply give your answer as a 2-bit number. So this is binary tree and this is binary tree. But sometimes you have to give the answer in certain amount of bits. So you have to be very careful, and before you are going to give the answer, just read the instruction what you're supposed to do. So if the answer has to be, let's say, in 5-bit form, you're supposed to give this answer, but if it doesn't matter, you can answer in 2-bit form.